What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. I am bringing you guys my review for yesterday's divisional AFC playoff game between my Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Very fun, very interesting game. Both games yesterday were incredibly fun. The Cowboys-Packers game was something. I wanted to pick the Packers, but I did not. To win the game. But I'm glad they did. I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm glad the Packers actually got the win there. To update you guys, I remember I said I was 4-0 last week in playoff predictions. This week I was just 2-2, 2 right and 2 wrong. So my total playoff record now is 6-2. But the Seahawks lost, so that's a big one for me. Anyway, we're here for the Steelers versus Chiefs. All week long, people were picking the Chiefs. I don't know why. Pittsburgh is a much better, far different class than the Chiefs. We are a far better team. I said it all week long. I said it in the previous matchup in week 4. Even though the Chiefs have improved, I still think Pittsburgh is a far better overall team. And I think this game showed it despite the score. The final score of this game in the divisional round was Pittsburgh 18, Chiefs 16. So Pittsburgh did get the win. But it was a very, very close game, and it shouldn't have been. This game should have been a blowout. And if Pittsburgh had somehow lost this game today, I would be railing. You would see an angry Jason like you have not seen before. Even worse than the Dallas Cowboys Steelers game several weeks ago. I would have lost my damn mind if Pittsburgh would have found a way to lose that game yesterday. Because all of the game was 18-16. The game should have been another like 43 or 45-10. Pittsburgh should have blown them out of the water from the beginning. Essentially, the story of this game was Pittsburgh would get the ball and would start between their own 30 or 35-yard line, would drive the entire field, mostly with Le'Veon Bell, a few short passes to Antonio Brown or Eli Rogers or Jesse James, and would get down the field, would drive the entire field with like an 11-play, 5 or 6 minute drive, and then would stall between the 30 and the 20. In the first half, they got inside the Chiefs' 30-yard line, was it 5 times, and had 15 points to show for it. Yeah, so they had actually, no, it was 6 times. 6 times with 15 points to show for it. 5 first-half field goals, and the 1 turnover on the tip pass interception by Eric Berry. So Pittsburgh wound up being in the red zone like 4 times, and I think had 3 field goals to show for it overall in the first half. So again, Pittsburgh had 6 drives. They wound up being long scoring drives, and they were all field goals. Pittsburgh won this game without scoring a single touchdown. They drove the field the entire game up and down easy, and then got inside the 30-yard line and just stalled repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. So props to the Chiefs defense. They held up. They bent entirely, but did not break at all. So despite the Kansas City Chiefs being the only ones to score a touchdown, and they scored 2 in this game, Pittsburgh got the win via field goals. Incredible game. But again, it was just total dominance by Pittsburgh's offense, and they just couldn't cash in. I say far too often that Pittsburgh settles for 3 instead of getting 7, and that happened a lot in this game. So it's more of the same there. Stat-wise for this game, Big Ben Roethlisberger, nothing special once again. He's not the leader of this team anymore. This is Le'Veon Bell's team now. Ben throws a lot of short slants and screens now. He doesn't go deep a whole lot. And when he does, it's usually Antonio Brown. But Ben, 20 of 31, 224 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, which was on a batted ball. So again, nothing special. Didn't play badly in this game, but did miss Antonio Brown about 3 or 4 times. Did miss a couple deep shots in this game. Did have the tipped interception. So didn't really, he played okay. He wasn't bad in this game. He made some big throws when he had to, especially in the fourth quarter, trying to seal this game up. But for the most part, didn't stand out. Didn't play a good or bad game. Was just kind of there. Le'Veon Bell was once again incredible. He is the best skill player in the NFL. Not only is he the best running back, but he's the best overall threat in the NFL. With the stuff that he can do, with his cuts, with his footwork, with his pass catching, with his blocking, of course with his running. The guy's incredible. He broke his own playoff record. He set a playoff record for the Steelers last week with like 163. He broke it this week. 30 carries, 170 yards. He gets the ball. He touches the ball more than anybody else on the field. And he's so dynamic, and his patience is so insane. Skipping through the hole and just finding creases. The Chiefs did do a good job in the third quarter of shutting him down. But the first half, I think he had over 100 yards already in the first half. Winds up with 170 here. Just as a total X factor, I mean, the stuff that he can do with the ball is incredible. I mean, he might not have a long career, sadly, because of the fact that he does get 30 or 40 touches a game, but he's well worth it right now. They're going to have to franchise him in the offseason. He is just the biggest X factor and the most dangerous skill player in the entire league. This was only his second playoff game, and already now he's set back-to-back records. He's got the most total rushing yards in the first 2 playoff games of any running back in NFL history, breaking Arian Foster's record. Antonio Brown also had a big game, mostly in the first half. 6 catches for 108 yards. Did most of that damage, I think 70 of those yards came on two catches in the first half. 1 deep ball and then one play to end the half. He only had 1 catch in the entire second half, but it was the biggest play of the game. It was a conversion late in the fourth quarter to allow the Steelers to run the clock out. So just 1 second half catch, but it was the biggest one of the game. So Brown 6 for 108. Jesse James played very well in this game. He was a big downfield converter. He picked up some big third down plays. When Ben extended the play, he found James in the middle of the field a lot. Played very, very well. James, 5 catches, 83 yards. His best game in the last 10 weeks. He's been very quiet during this big Steelers win streak, but he stepped up big yesterday and played well. Also 5 catches out of Eli Rogers, who continues to make plays in spots. He's still not a game breaker just yet, but he is a nice compliment to guys like Antonio Brown. And when you get guys like Ladarius Green back, Rogers becomes even more deadly with one-on-one coverage. He's a fast guy who can break tackles and make plays, so he had 5 catches also. The Steelers' defense played very well for the most part. The Chiefs drove down the field easily with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce on the first drive. Scored a opening drive touchdown to Albert Wilson, but did not score a single point again until I think 7 points in the first quarter, and then wound up with. Did they score the field goal in the first half? I can't remember. Anyway, they finished with just 16 points, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the first drive, 1 on their last drive. But in between, nothing allowed. Pittsburgh did a very nice job in this game on defense for the most part. Once they figured out they could kick to Tyreek Hill, and again, special teams coverage was a big thing today. Tyreek Hill is the best returner in the NFL. He's the fastest player in the NFL. And the first kick they kicked away from him, they squibbed it, and the Chiefs got the ball at the 45-yard line, so they stopped doing that. They kicked the rest of the game to Tyreek Hill, and Hill didn't break anything long, nothing beyond, 30 yards. They just got down there and tackled him quick. Vince Williams was on his game. They did a nice job covering, so special teams gets a major thumbs up for this game. Defensively, again, a good game for the Steelers overall. James Harrison leads the team in tackles, 5 tackles, also gets another sack. He's the oldest player in NFL history to have a sack in 3 consecutive games. Both games in the playoffs now he's had sacks. He's been a man possessed. For being in his 40s, the guy is just beating father time. He is just ageless. James Harrison is a monster. He also was held on the big 2-point conversion play, which took it back off the field. Ryan Shazier again tied for the lead in tackles, 5 tackles in this game. Also had an interception in this game. That is 4 consecutive games for interceptions for Ryan Shazier. He's had one in both of the last 2 playoff games. That is, I think that is 6 turnovers in the last 5 games for Shazier. He's been ridiculously on fire. He's the best player on the Steelers defense in my opinion. Also, Bud Dupree. I've said his name we've been playing since week 11. I've said his name every single week since he's come back in. He's made at least one big play. He had 4 tackles in this game. He had a couple good stuffs off the edge. He had good quarterback pressures that weren't really put down as stats, but he had a couple of big ones. He also had the batted ball. He knocked the ball out of Alex Smith's hands, which caused the Ryan Shazier interception. And again, a couple of big hits on Smith that resulted in overthrows or deflected passes. So Bud Dupree made his presence felt once again in this game. He's turning into a guy they have to put 2 guys on because he's getting off the edge. He's learning the playbook faster. He's getting better pressures. His footwork is getting better. He is becoming a very important player on that Steelers young defense. Not much to say positive about the coverage guys. They played okay. Nothing special for Kansas City on offense. Bud Dupree did get beat on the Albert Wilson first drive Chief touchdown. Artie Burns got beat on the first drive touchdown. And Sean Davis did have the costly penalty, the 15-yard helmet-to-helmet hit on the Chiefs that led to their almost tying touchdown. So Not much out of the secondary. Ross Cockrell got beat at least twice on big plays, got at least 2 pass interference calls, had a couple other holding calls that weren't called, so Cockrell played pretty badly in this game. So the secondary was kind of down in this game. That being said, I think Alex Smith only had 170 passing, didn't do much. The only player that really wound up well with any sort of stat line for the Chiefs here was Travis Kelce, who had 71 yards receiving, I believe. I know he was in the 70s. But even he didn't do much of that until the fourth quarter, so he was shut down most of the game. Tyreek Hill had a couple nice runs on wildcat or draw plays or reverses. He had 1 or 2 nice first down runs. Other than that, he was pretty much shut down the entire game as well. Macklin, I think, had 1 big catch, and that was it. Spencer Ware, I think he had 4 yards of carry, but wasn't able to carry the ball much. So very good job overall in the Steelers' defense, despite some coverage snafus. And again, the Chiefs came down, basically went to tie the game on a Kelce touchdown. But they had a 2-point conversion that was converted but called back on a Harrison holding play, and then they didn't convert in the end. So Pittsburgh winds up with field goals 18-16. Of course, I mentioned already the special teams coverage being a huge deal. Even bigger deal was Chris Boswell, the new Killer B. He's been called the 4th Killer B alongside Ben Bell and Brown, because he was 6 for 6 in this game. He set an all-time playoff record for most field goals in the playoffs. He's breaking his own records now. He set records earlier this year for kicks. He was 6 for 6 in this game for 18 points. The final score wound up being Boswell 18, Chiefs 16. Without him, we'd have lost this game badly. He was on fire at a time we needed him most. 6 for 6. Boswell is the true Steelers MVP in this game. Le'Veon Bell, of course, is our X factor. He's our best player. But Boswell was the key to this victory. He was the number 1 guy on this team today. So congrats, Chris Boswell. You, my friend, get a trophy and a Gatorade bath because you are the reason we're going to Foxborough. So Pittsburgh getting the big playoff win, 18-16. We're going to Foxborough to play against Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots next week. Everyone, once again, just like this week, is favoring against us. They're favoring the Patriots to win that game, and I've got to tell you, I think they're wrong. I think Pittsburgh goes in there and wins. I think Pittsburgh, again, showed 6 great scoring drives here this week. The Patriots defense is nowhere near as good as the Chiefs defense. They are not going to be able to hold us out of the end zone. So if Pittsburgh gets those long drives like we did today, I don't think they're going to be able to stop us in the red zone between the 20s. And also, again, we didn't have Ben Roethlisberger in our last matchup, which was close. And they did have Gronkowski, which is now not playing. So you add Ben to our side, take Gronkowski away from their side, and they're going to be in some trouble. I don't think guys like Chris Hogan are going to get much. Edelman may get his if he's playing in the game, if he's healthy. But they don't have as many X factors. LeGarrette Blount's not going to be able to do as much, I don't think, on offense. Now, the Patriots are going to get theirs. Blount's going to make some plays breaking tackles. Amendola or Edelman or Chris Hogan will get a couple of plays across the middle they can break. Brady and Belichick are going to have their schemes ready. They're going to play well. But I think they're taking a step back this year on offense, and their defense has always been overrated and exposed. Their defense cannot hang with the 3 Killer Bees as long as we're healthy, and we're rumored to possibly be getting back Ladarius Green as well, which is going to be a major help to us. And again, them without Gronkowski. They still have Martellus Bennett. They still have Edelman. They still have Blount. They have plenty of guys that can make plays, but I think they're taking a step back on offense and won't be able to hang with this motivated Steeler team. This is a season of destiny. You can just sort of feel it when your team is making a run. Pittsburgh has now won, 9 games in a row, and I think they're going into Foxborough to win number 10. My final score prediction is Pittsburgh 28, New England 21. I think Pittsburgh goes to the Super Bowl to play against probably Green Bay, but that game against Atlanta for Green Bay is going to be a fun one as well. So what do you guys think of next week's games? Who do you think Pittsburgh would play in the Super Bowl if they played? Do you think they'll get there? Are the Patriots going to go back again? Or is Ben going to his 4th Super Bowl to try and get his 3rd title? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments down below. What did you think of this game? And are you ready for next week? Tell me down there, guys. This has been Jason Burke, rambling and excited, rocking my Troy shirt once again. I will see you guys real soon. It's been Football Focus. I will see you guys after the Steelers and Patriots game for my review. And hopefully that's my second to last review of the season. So I'll see you guys soon.